Hello and welcome to Inside Tennessee's practice facility. I'm Ryan Sylvia. This is Noah Taylor. We're with VolReport.com on the Rivals Network, and we had that pretty quick and not too informative Thursday press conference with Josh Heupel just a moment ago, but he did say a couple things that stood out to us, so let's talk about them. The first thing being the injury situation. Of course, the biggest injury coming out of camp heading into the season is of Cooper Mays. Asked him for the update, you have to. Didn't expect too much of an answer, and he didn't really give us one. Said they evaluate those on Friday, and they'll kind of see heading into game day if he's ready. So didn't give us an update on him, on if Cooper will be available for Saturday or not. Of course, a situation where you probably don't need him until the Florida game, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if they did take things slow, even if he's at 90%. See if it's even kind of worth it to risk anything. But Josh Heupel didn't give us any sort of answer on that regard. But in terms of Elijah Simmons, he did say he will be inactive on Saturday. So we do have one guy kind of noted on our checklist of injured players from camp that will not be ready to go on Saturday, that being Elijah Simmons. Listed as an or on the depth chart as well. But what were your biggest takeaways, Noah?
Yeah, the running backs. He was asked about that, balancing that. I think we've talked about that as well. But an experienced group there. You've got three guys that I think can really carry the load for you if you need them to. A good problem for them to have is trying to figure out, who stays in, who's in that rotation. Obviously, Jabari Small and Jalen Wright are the two guys, and Dylan Sampson's a guy that's expected to take a big leap. They've been very complimentary to those two freshmen, and he said the best guys will play. Those guys are going to stay in there, and everybody's going to get a chance to play. He said specifically Saturday, and you'll be able to see a lot of those guys out there. I think that's kind of something to look forward to, because we said on the podcast the other night, it's kind of a game that I think is setting up to see a lot of run, get a look at the run game, especially in the second half. And I think that's kind of what they're looking forward to, is figuring out. They know what the top half of that rotation is going to look like, but it'll be good to see those guys on the field, the younger guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Heupel also talked about kind of the final touches they're putting on their preparation for the season. One of those being kind of situational awareness, situational football. Said that he wasn't necessarily worried at any point about what the team would do in that aspect, but he has seen growth this offseason, and he feels pretty comfortable about where they are in that regard. So I think that is also a really big positive that I took away from what he said, is that they feel like this team is kind of almost mature in a way, that they feel like they can handle those situational plays that you need to be locked in for mentally. Feels like they're in a good spot there. But he also talked a little bit about Virginia, if you want to talk about his comments on their situation.
Yeah, it seems like we haven't done a lot of talking about the Cavaliers, just because of, Joe Milton's, kind of getting that second chance as the starter to start the season and some of the new look on this offense. But, yeah, I mean, the Cavaliers, they're led by a new quarterback, a guy that was playing FCS football last year at Monmouth, and Tony Muskett, and had a lot of success there. And Josh Heupel talked today about, we've heard it throughout the week, and maybe it's coach speak. They talked on film, a guy that seems to make the right decisions, a guy that, brings some skill to that position. Really interesting to see how kind of he handles it, against in his first Power 5 game. Again, a guy that had success at his last stop. So how he kind of handles essentially being on the road on Saturday in Nashville. But, I mean, that's a guy we'll get to a chance to see the Tennessee defense as well, how they handle him as well.
Yeah, Muskett, a guy that clearly has kind of the physical tools to be successful, but it's going to be a big difference between that FCS to FBS, especially an SEC caliber level when you're playing a team like that and have to adjust to the speed of the game. It'll be interesting to see what he does, but nothing kind of but positives said from both sides. Really, you talk to Tony Elliott, he'll sing the praises of Tennessee. You talk to Heupel, and he'll sing the praises of Virginia. So neither team giving each other bulletin board material just yet, but we are 2 days away from kickoff. For all the complete coverage you need, head over to VolReport.com. We will have you covered leading up to game day, on game day, recapping it, heading into next week, and throughout the whole season, everything you need. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We just posted our podcast with Brad Franklin of CavsCorner.com on the Rivals Network earlier this morning. It was a really good interview. So if you want more information on what Virginia looks like this season, what to expect from Virginia, and kind of a Virginia guy's perspective on Tennessee, that was a really informative interview over on the VolReport show. So make sure you head over, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Links to everything you need is in the description below. Thank you for watching.